Monday, November 23rd. This weekend, I glanced to my left and realized I could see the scaffolding of the north sky deck. Color has been added to door 6 and 7. I left the volume on so you could hear the scritching of the stucco workers and whistling. On Friday, on South Skydeck, Skytrack brought bundles of roof trusses over and over all day. Workers' arms and shoulders had to be really tired guiding them into place. Close to our apartment, I finally saw the machine that stresses the tension cables. It is placed on each cable, and the man pushes the button on the orange machine and it stretches the cable 4 inches. Okay, so today is a sound day. The machine whirs until it reaches 4 inches, then the green-shirted worker moves it to the next cable, and they start again for hundreds of cables. Young, agile workers undo the straps from all the bundles of roof trusses. They work a long day until the sun is setting and the mountains are watermelon colored. Don really likes this part. Saturday morning, they arrive. Today it looks like they're turning roof trusses around or upside down. I was never sure which, but it went on all day Saturday. On Saturday, Wilbur decided to look around under the maintenance level. His propellers kicked up a lot of dust. They haven't had a chance to sweep down here yet. It's hard for a drone to breathe, so he decided to look for the exit and get back out into the fresh air. There it is. Oh, the air is so much better. The corner of the maintenance level will become a triangular solarium, which will be for the 2nd and 3rd floor of assisted living. Residents can sit out here and enjoy wonderful views of the outside world. Wilbur was excited to see the size of the new independent rooms on the assisted living deck, but there are so many roof trusses that he can't tell where the rooms start and stop. Outside, Wilbur finds a window and goes into one of the assisted living private rooms. He still can't really tell how big it is, with all the shadows and 2x4s and boards propping things up. They look pretty big, but he can't tell you exactly how big. On the north side, Wilbur's checking out the elevator shaft. Looking down in, the wood slats show you where the doors will open onto the new floors. No new chiller yet. Sunday, it's cold and the skies are dark and the clouds are hanging low, but they work a good part of the day anyway. Welder has been busy installing threaded bolts for the prefabricated walls. On Monday morning, he finished welding the last few bolts into the concrete right in front of our apartment on the edge of the maintenance level. Close to the cinder block wall, they are cutting windows in the new walls. Skytrack is spending today dumping loads of lumber up on the roof, or I guess the floor of the next level. On the atrium, cream-colored paint is being applied over the gray stucco. I watched for a while longer, and now it's the dark salmon color. It's going to be really nice. Happy Thanksgiving to one and all. For anyone who works in the medical field or has a family member that does, we thank you.
Hello, everyone. We begin as usual with the independent living building. Look at the scaffolding and cinder block tower growing to its eventual 80-foot height. They'll have to complete this tower and remove the scaffolding before they can frame in the second floor. As we move east, we can see that they have cleaned up the forms, and they're working on odds and ends around the perimeter, like the patio overhangs. Some are already poured, and some are framed and ready for more pouring. Hi, this is Jack Breyer. It's Wednesday, November 25th. It's sunny, and it's 45 degrees. After the pour, they have reconstructed the safety fence around the outside, and as we come around the south side and are working back west along the south side, we can see just there a newly poured patio overhang. Now we get a bird's eye view of the elevator tower. Watching the workers up on this flimsy scaffolding on a windy day is slightly hair-raising, but they seem to take it all in stride. Now we jump over to the assisted living building, and beginning at the far west end, we see that workers are framing up forms for concrete for the triangular bump-out area. The rest of this west end seems to be being used mainly for storage. The east end framing is moving along with wall frames and roof trusses done and floor and siding going up. It's not clear if more steel is still to be erected. Now, coming around to the front side, we see that the stuccoing is continuing. We can see that it's now colored. Do you like the color? They still have quite a bit to do. There's still a lot of white insulation showing. Coming along the south side, we get a better look at the framing and siding going on the second floor. And on the west end, it's been weeks since they dug it up and refilled the road. See you again next week.
Thursday, November 26th, Thanksgiving Day. It's been a wild weather week. It rained one night, and several rolls of architectural plans got all soggy. Clouds hung low, and the winds blew, and it was very cold. Flags snapped and strained at their traces, and blue patches were pretty small. Let's go someplace wonderful. Bouchart Gardens. It's located on Vancouver Island, just north of Victoria, British Columbia, and it's been around for over 100 years. This is a magical place now, but it started out in 1904 as a cement plant. When the limestone ran out, Jenny was devastated at the look of the land. Jenny had a vision of something beautiful to leave for future generations. She started having topsoil hauled in horse-drawn carts. It took years. Although Bouchart Gardens covers 55 acres, this sunken garden was the deepest part of the quarry and was the first completed. The gardens have millions of bedding plants with 900 varieties, so the sunken garden changes. Each season brings different layers of color to the sunken garden. Even as fall approaches, there's so many textures and colors of green. At the very back of the garden is this fountain. It has several jets that shoot water. Music plays from among the flowers, and the fountains dance in many patterns. Children especially love this area and frolic as the music and the water make them so happy. Arbors are made out of branches of cement, a tribute to its humble beginnings. It feels so cozy in here. When the arbors come alive with roses, it is like a fairyland, and it smells so wonderful. The gardens have 6,600 rose bushes. There are aisles among the roses, and you can walk between them. Some of them are chest high. It's hard to leave the rose garden because it's so luxurious and smells so good. You can ponder a moment by the gazing ball before you leave. This spitting frog was my favorite. He reminded me of one very similar in my parents' garden as I was growing up. It takes 55 full-time gardeners and 12 part-time gardeners to keep this place in shape. 30,000 tulip bulbs were imported from Holland. Since I'm a good Dutch girl, I lingered along this path. Japanese garden came along in 1908. There are many water features in this area. It is the most serene, and people lower their voices and walk softly. You find them standing still and pondering the shadows in the water. I'm still drawn to the bright colors, but I walk quietly too. At the end of this garden, a dragon spits water and sometimes gets the tourists wet, so there is laughter and lots of photographs. I was often overwhelmed by the size of the flowers. This one was the size of my fist. Sunshine on the flower beds magnifies the brilliant colors. Some combinations of colors are always striking. Dahlias start out the size of golf balls, and then around the next bend, there's an eruption of fire and color, and these are the size of grapefruits. It's just awesome. And then the one that caught my attention was the size of a bread and butter plate. I wanted to pick it, but that's a no-no. This white gate opens into the Italian garden. It was the tennis court, but Jenny realized it wasn't being used very much. And she really hated to waste, so it became a beautiful tailored garden. From season to season, this area changes color totally. The gardens have 26 greenhouses where they can pull out wonderful things no matter what the season. Many of the transitions between gardens come through beautiful gates and arbors. In 1939, the Butcharts gave the gardens to their grandson Ross on his 21st birthday. Over the years, Ross added summer concerts and Christmas lights during the season. One edge of the gardens border the sea. It's a beautiful place to have a picnic or put your feet in the water. As fall temperatures begin to fade the flowers, now it's the trees' turn to shine. I've never been there in the fall, but it looks like a wonderful place to stroll among the crisp air and listen to the birds. Trees are never boring at Butchart Gardens. I hope this brief journey through the gardens has given your mind some ease from all the stresses, and you've been able to take some deep breaths into your soul.